Hello and welcome to the Carbitrage Podcast, episode 271. I'm Erik Berger, joined as always by my co-host Ryan Sendensky. Hello.
Hello, I'm Ryan Sendensky, your co-host, and we are reformatting the show moving forward to talk about 1970s fashion. On this episode, we are talking about belted sweaters and how to keep your gold zodiac pennant from getting caught in your chest hair.
And all
Take
of what
it
he
away,
just
Erik.
said is incorrect. All right. Patreon.com/Carbitrage on this open-ended... Oh, god damn it, Ryan. Fuck it. Patreon.com/Carbitrage. I have a silver bullet. You have a hams.
Yes, we do.
I'm completely off my...
You have a Colorado Kool-Aid.
I do.
I have a Dr. Pepper because we did not have time to go get kefefe.
Oh, that's a shame.
It is.
I like kefefe. I had my first cup of Maca Master coffee in over a week this morning, and it was tremendous.
Oh,
I
good.
saw somebody on TikTok that was like, you don't know what you're missing out until you have one of these. And I was
Pretty
like,
much true.
how does TikTok know?
Well, it's the best.
No, it is, but just the fact that came across my feed
Uh-oh.
organically.
Well,
I
it's
was
because
just like,
AI, and you
Yeah.
sold your soul to the Chinese government. So have fun.
Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
I have lots of fun. It's great.
I was like, oh yeah, it's already there.
It's been there. Like,
I don't mind.
everybody gets concerned about TikTok. I'm like, listen,
I'm not
statistically...
concerned. I just get I think it's spooky and fun.
Spooky and fun. Well, I mean, those are your adjectives, so I get that.
All of her information's been stolen already, so who cares?
I cannot get behind any platform that has the ability to do autoplay video, and that one
yeah.
absolutely does.
Yes, it does. That's literally the basis of that
Yep.
app.
No, I can't. I can't handle that.
Yeah, I think
It's pushing me away from Instagram now too.
Yeah, Instagram's cursed. However, I will say somehow I will take the same TikTok video and share it as a reel on Instagram and get like twice as many views and reacts on Instagram as I do TikTok.
Well,
So
and that's
Into
what-
reels.
yeah, no,
a
reels
lot
are
of
cursed.
Well, it's the same thing.
I just ended up doing. I somehow ended up being the guy who runs Community's TikTok because Dan doesn't want to and nobody else does, and I just live in real life where I'm like, you're trying to get Gen Z onto your social media app, you need to go to where they are.
Correct.
And I'm of everybody that we know, the
TikTok
person
and
who's
Twitter.
yeah, and I'm more tolerant of stupid apps than other people. So here I am on TikTok.
Well, I haven't seen you in the investor report under social media yet. I've seen 5 different faces on there, I swear, over the last year.
I'm not entirely. I'm doing it pro bono right now.
Okay.
So because I can't officially be on what with my actual job, so I just help.
Phrased in a good way, at least. Well,
Yep.
with my actual job. And Corey, no, you. I don't have any cats here.
We have
kitties here.
World Cup of Cars 2 happening.
Hell yes.
So I need to. There we go. Okay. Well, I think let's move on to World Cup of Cars to get this knocked out.
I thought you said knocked up, and I was like,
Nope,
it's
not
Did I?
trying to.
Where's...
Oh, it's a separate.
Is
It's
it
a
a
separate
linked thing?
page.
Oh, okay. I think I see the Google. Gotcha.
I can.
Gotcha.
I'll
No,
add it to
I
the
got
top
it.
here.
I got it.
Well, I'm gonna add it to the top moving forward.
Fine. Okay.
Put that up in the top.
Up on the screen. Mint. Very good. Anonymous Rhino is pasting as we speak.
There we go. Enter. There we go. Cool.
Bam.
All right. So World Cup of Cars. We have our semifinal, quarterfinal.
I've missed a lot, haven't I?
No, we just did the group stage.
Yeah, we've done 2...
We did 2 episodes of group
Yeah.
stage, and now it's our semifinal. It's
It's got to be quarter, right?
quarterfinal. Yes,
One,
quarterfinal. I get
two,
this confused.
3,
Yeah, it's
4.
quarter, and then semi, and then actual, right?
8. I don't know what the
Yeah, it's
sports
quarterfinal.
thing.
Yeah, it's our
I was just counting how many we had left.
Yes.
Sports.
It is our quarterfinal.
Okay.
So
we'll go with quarterfinal, everybody.
for our Group A contendants that are moving on to the quarterfinal, we have Ecuador versus Netherlands.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Netherlands, I found a DAF Daffodil for sale on Facebook Marketplace.
Tremendous.
Yes, which is better because it had the CVT
Oh,
transmission.
no.
But
What do
it
you
had
think
this,
T stands for in CVT, though?
Good point. It had the CVT.
Thank you.
That would allow the car to go just as fast in reverse as it would
Oh,
going
yes.
forward. So
Very good.
That's the one you want. That's the only car in which the CVT is objectively better than the manual.
It's the only car where Ryan showed it to me on Facebook Marketplace, and I was like, You could buy that before the wedding.
Yeah, like it's that cute. It's also
I'm
called
gonna
a
just
Daffodil.
look at them.
Yeah, it's a great car.
Yeah, and it happens to be called Daffodil, which is like...
Adorable.
And the fact that this reverse, you can go so fast in reverse. Two favorite things in the world.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's fantastic.
No,
If
it's
you ever
fine.
lose the ability to motivate in a forward direction,
Exactly.
go backward.
And
You'll
how
still
many
be fine.
times
And then
does that happen?
you're just driving a forklift. At that
yeah,
point.
very twitchy steering. That's correct. Yep.
And then, so the DF Daffodil has very, very tough competition for Group A against the Amisa Condor GT. The Amisa Condor GT, as I'm sure nobody remembers, is a Vauxhall Chevette and a Chevy Chevette, which is a Isuzu Gemini, put together. And it's like a weirdly sporty package. It's one of these things where it's definitely slow car fast.
Yeah.
And it would probably be a blast to drive in Ecuador.
This car looks like one of those AI generated things where it just looks for patterns and then makes you a car.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what this looks like. In a good way.
Yeah, hell yeah.
'Cause
It's
AI
got like,
generated art actually can be very cool if you use the right prompts.
because it's got like one of those old Alfa Romeo Alfetta wheels or
Yeah.
whatever, and it's got it's the shape of a Chevette, but
It's
it's
great.
got like the cow catcher with these really aggressively inward pointed ducts. It's just
Yeah, it's really cool.
which look like they might not even be ducts. It looks like they might just be blocked off.
No, I think they're actually ducks.
I don't know. That bottom picture just looks like.
They could be replaced with fog lights in that.
Well, it's already got. Oh, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, because those
turn
are just those might be
indicators.
fog lights, and then if they're not fog lights, it might be ducks.
ducks.
Quack.
Wait.
So, my question is, which one wins? The Daffodil, which goes as fast in reverse as it does going forward, or the really cool sleeper Chevette hot hatch
That's
from...
hard.
I
Man.
know. Yeah, no, I... Thank
But I
God
gotta
Jan is
go-
here.
I gotta go Daffodil.
Yeah.
Daffodil?
I think we're giving it to the daffodil.
All right, the Condor is out. Let me just go ahead and...
What a ridiculous thing. I love it. Oh my
Control
god.
Shift. Oh fuck. What is the hotkey for strike through?
I will look it up one sec.
I need to figure this out. This is really good radio. I forgot the hotkey for strike through. I think it's Control Shift
Alt Shift 5.
Alt Shift 5.
That goes for you too, listeners. If you're
Oh,
using
right.
Google Drive, Google Docs, Alt Shift 5 is strike through text.
Yes.
Oh, that is good to know.
So,
Bam, there you go.
For Group B, we have the last World Cup of Cars champion, the Zamyad Z24,
What an adorable little guy. Just doing his best job.
versus the Gilburn Genie.
All right, let me
Oh,
pull up the
what?
Gilburn Genie.
Jan is not aware of the Gilburn Genie.
Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
The Gilburn Genie is...
Welsh.
It's Welsh. It is the greatest...
Oh, if it's
Like,
Welsh.
it's the
that's all you have
greatest
to say.
combination of British automobile technology.
Pretty much.
Like, what engine's in it? It's a Triumph 6, right?
It is a 6. It's a V6, yeah.
Oh, it's a V6.
Yeah, I believe it's the Cologne.
Oh, wait, so it's a Cologne V6.
Yeah, it
in
was.
like a 2+2, a GT based off of like a Triumph TR6.
Yeah, it's based on a TR6, but it's got the body of like an Italian GT, and
Yeah.
like it was also offered with the Morris Austin 4-cylinder. But yeah, this one here at least has
With the
Cologne.
V6 is the
Yeah.
one you want, is the Cologne V6 with wire wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Yeah, it's a very cool car.
I just love that it looks like a mini Maserati, but it's based on a little British roadster,
You know,
so it's
Yeah.
somehow a little less unreliable.
yeah, no, the Italians, or specifically Maserati, is the only company that can be out reliable by, or yeah,
Well, especially like 70s Maserati.
yeah, no, they're the only company that could make Triumph like look good for reliability.
Why can't the Zamyad pictures aren't pulling up here?
Just Google Zamyad Z24.
Fine.
This is a really tough one. I think. What do you think, honey? The Gilbert Genie or the Zamyad
Oh,
Z24? Yeah, it's really tough.
Where's the genie from?
Wales.
Wales.
Oh, and then what's
So there's the Gilbert Genie, and then here's the Zamyad Z24 doing what Zamyad Z24
Which
do.
one is?
The genie.
I think.
Because Welsh.
Yeah, but I mean, looking at them as actual products, not just from the country, it's very difficult. I think
this is why the Zamyad won last time, too.
Because the Zamyad is just such a workhorse.
I mean, just look at it. Like, all of them ever have just been doing this sort of thing. Like, I don't even... It looks like a dirigible in a bag in the back of it or something. I don't know, Wales.
So, Janet, you said Gilburn. I'm going to say
You don't have to worry
Zamyad.
about hurting my feelings.
No,
I voted
no.
with my heart.
No, that's the thing is I have to vote with my heart too, and my heart is very, very split, and I'm edging towards Zamyad Z24 just because it is an objectively perfect pickup truck.
It's a knockdown done right.
Yeah.
However, I don't like pickup trucks, so I'll tiebreaker, and we're going to give it to the Gilburn Genie.
Cool.
Woo.
All right. You know,
Solves that one.
I'm all right with that because then there's the politics of Iran. So
Not to mention, I mean, it won last year. Or last time we did it, 4 years ago.
Alt Shift 5.
Yes.
I got it. Yay.
Perfect.
All right, the Gilburn GD by just the hair of
Skin-
its chin. Yeah.
Hair of its chinny skin teeth.
Yes, it gets fast. All right, so Group C, we move on to. Oh, no, this is a tough one.
Oh, gosh.
The Fiat Polski 126P.
Oh, no.
Versus the Persang.
Oh no!
Do you have a modern
man.
pre-war Bugatti
Man.
or the Polish Bugatti?
We are going to have an entire country that hates us after this, no matter what we do.
Well,
Oh, man.
I'm going to go ahead and say the Fiat Polski 126P because that does not exist because of Nazis. It actually kind of does. But not directly. Only partial. Only, yeah.
It's like a slightly more degree of separation.
Poland lost its independence because of World War II, which
Oh
gave
my
them the
God.
126P. But the Persang was made because Nazis existed. So I'm absolutely in favor of Poland. But
Yeah,
you two can take
What's
your
the
choice.
percentage take rate of 126P to Nazis versus Type 35s to
Oh,
Nazis?
probably 0.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, Type
So-
35s. Well, Persang Type 35s, 0.
Well, can you say 0 conclusively?
Yeah,
Okay.
because Mossad exists.
Okay.
And they took all of them away.
Okay.
But Persang did get their start by putting together, parts kits for these old, pre-war Bugattis that just magically ended up in Argentina following World War II. I don't know how they
Strange.
ended up. All these new immigrants just decided Argentina was great.
Is this like all the tractors that ended up in Ukraine?
Well,
this
the
year?
tractors were there.
Oh, okay. Or sorry, tanks. New tanks.
All their new tanks.
New
yes, they were
tractors
left there.
are
They were
formerly
left there,
tanks. Yes.
I'm gonna have to put my foot down this on the Fiat Polski 126P. They have similar racing pedigrees.
Post-war always wins for me, so I'm into this.
Okay, cool. So Jana, are you
Okay, I really like the little red guy.
the little red guy?
Okay, we're
Apparently-
unanimous.
That's a unanimous
Wow.
Fiat Polski.
I mean, just look at the 126P.
Well, and then
just
all-
look at it. You just want to pinch
it's
his cheek.
I think the Bugatti's cool, but I feel like, any pre-war car
Now,
is like that.
Had this been 126P versus the Beast of Turin, I would have had a hard time.
Yeah.
I would have still said the 126P.
Okay, all right.
Now I love the Beast of Turin. Don't get me wrong, but they've only made 2.
They made 2? I thought they only made 1.
There were 2.
Whoa, where's the other one? Is it dead? Is it gone?
I think it is, yeah. Or it's unknown.
Duncan's going to find it.
I'm sure. Well, Duncan Pitaway found this one in Australia,
Yeah.
in a barn.
Well, and then he can have a daily driver one, and then he can have a race car one. And then he can tow one with the other.
And don't give him ideas.
You put a tow bar.
You might go ahead and do that.
Of course he would. Look
So-
at Duncan.
For 1 second here. So we
Okay.
have Group D, A, B, C. D,
Oh,
E,
man.
F,
Oh,
G.
I've got a huge bias on this one. I might have to let you guys decide.
All right, so we are going to do Group D, and then the rest we're going to do next episode. Group D will be France versus Tunisia. Now, which one wins, the Renault Aventime or the Wally's Car Iris?
No.
The Wally's Car Iris is similar to a Misa Condor being perfect for Ecuador, a Wally's car Iris is absolutely perfect for Tunisia. It is
a strange thing. It is. We looked it up. It's offered as manual.
Yes.
It's got like a French powertrain or something, so it should be fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's a newish car.
Aventime.
And here's a French car with a Japanese powertrain.
I want more people to know about Wally's car and how wacky they are. I'm a
yes.
big fan of this company.
Well, they made it this far.
Yeah, they make goofy things, and I feel like more people should talk about Wally's car. Because if you remember last time we did the World Cup of Cars, Wally's car made some trash. The Iris has come out since then, and the Iris is actually good.
Well, it's because it's based on not things that they came up with.
Yes, but, I mean, yeah. And the Aventime is just things that they've come up with that were, as good as they are, not marketable by any stretch.
No, and that was very much proven by the sales record of the vehicle.
All right, well, as much as I want the Wally's car Iris to win, I think we're going to go ahead and give this one to the Aventime.
The Aventime.
I would have
is
tie-breaked
so
it had you voted for the Wally's car. Sorry, Wally's car. Try again next year.
Yeah, that's
or
what,
next time.
That's why I said, yeah, this one doesn't, it's not going to go forward. And next episode, we will finish the other half of our semifinals.
Groups E through H.
Yes.
Edward through Henry.
I think there's only 3 on that side, but whatever. Doesn't
Whatever.
matter. All right.
All right.
So,
All right.
on to some of our topics.
Yeah, let me just pop this in the notes so I remember.
I think all of my topics are either directly from... No, they're not all directly from. But half of my topics are from Deutsche Welle, which is the German BBC. I watch it.
Yeah, you were telling me about this.
I watch it regularly. It's great. I love Deutsche Welle. But yeah, so have you ever wondered what it's like to refurbish a classic car in Ghana?
You know?
No?
No.
That's fair. Nobody else has. However, I found out about it, and the answer is a giant scrapyard,
Okay.
a physical bazaar, several blocks long of retailers selling used car parts.
BAZAAR?
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of hand tools.
Oh my.
And there's this guy who actually like restores stuff like 190Es and
see
BMW 2002s. But this is the thing. He does this in Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
Does not have like Amazon or Google available to him. He just has the stuff available in the several long, like blocks long physical used parts bazaar.
Huh.
And actually gets these cars functional, which, you know, to be fair, is hard enough in the United States. Like, you've had a basket case of a 1602 project.
1600 predates it.
Yeah, sorry, 1600.
Yeah. But, I mean, most of the parts I buy, I air freight them from other countries because they don't exist anywhere.
This guy does this all domestically. And his 190 daily, he did the same thing with.
And restoring a damaged part is a lot harder than replacing a damaged part. And I'm guessing almost all of what he does is just, like, restoring the original part.
Yeah, unless you can find it. But, like, and they're not, like, they're not exact, like one-for-one replications. Like, I say the term restore because he lives in Ghana. If this was America, it would definitely be a rough refurbishment. But this is the thing, is he takes...
Using BAT terms.
Yeah. He takes not functioning German cars and makes them functioning and nice.
I see, like, a C43 AMG in there.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's not the kind of thing I would expect to see.
Actual things. I think if you scroll down, there's be some more information on him. Nope, there's not. Never mind.
Wow.
Never
Wow,
mind.
man.
Okay, it was...
News story sites are just cancerous.
Yeah, it is actually a video.
I could play that.
Yeah,
I
you could
suppose.
just play the video and just mute it. But, no, I just thought that this was super interesting because whenever I get frustrated with my projects, I think of this dude's existence.
You have it so much better.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow. Well, yeah, if you look at his yard,
Cool.
yeah, he's got, even has like a 126. Like,
Yep.
yeah, well, W126 is
Well.
not a Fiat 126.
That is
But-
okay. It's worth clarifying right now.
Well, we were just talking
Right.
about Fiat 126s, and they're two very different things, and two very different difficulties for refurbishment.
Yes.
But yeah, if you like look, like he's like literally like these cars are not like organized; they're just
Right.
piles of scrap cars that are just like in a field.
Yeah, like
And-
you would have to know exactly what the cylinder head you're looking for looks like
Yeah,
before you
exactly.
go out into the jungle of the car parts land.
But
It looks
yeah.
like he's got parts cars too, right?
Yeah, he does have some parts cars. Like obviously you have to, but I just think that's really cool that like he does this just to keep these cool old cars working. It's a it is a Civic, yeah. He's got that's one of his 190s. Like I said, it's not not a perfect restoration, but yeah, you see what he's dealing with here. He's doing a really great job. Like this guy's crushing it. I can build a car.
That is a C43. Wow.
Do I think this is better for the environment to keep these cars running?
So that's actually the thing. Deutsche Welle, whenever they do this, they do a thing called green. This is actually on their green mobility segment, and yeah, because otherwise stuff like this, would just sit there and rot. Also, a lot of people this is for classic cars. A lot of people keep
XK.
A lot of people use Deutsche Welle, yeah. But a lot of people would just end up not having cars, and you have a lot of these weird old Chinese cars that just sit there. Yeah, like those weird old Chinese cars would just be in the scrapyard, just leaking coolant into the earth. Now they're actually functioning and giving this guy a way to live. So as opposed to making a whole new car, yeah, this is much more green than making a whole new car from scratch. So, but yeah, I think it's really interesting what they're able to do, and just it's pretty much all hand tools that they use.
Yeah, I'm watching them break down this mobility bus, and they've just got pry bars and hammers.
Yeah, and they're doing it. I think this is just absolutely fascinating. But yeah, this is the bazaar that I was talking about. It's literally a giant bazaar of used parts retailers.
Yeah, and it's not automotive only. Everything. There's air conditioners. Ooh, is that a 4EFE?
No, this is actually just automotive stuff in this bazaar.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a just automotive bazaar.
Wow, cool. Look at that. So I'm watching. It's terrible audio, but
places that I want to go in real life.
That guy was literally smacking bolt heads off of a transmission case to split it because they didn't have a socket.
Yeah, he just broke them off. It's incredible.
That is incredible.
Places that I want to go, in my life, is I want to go to this place.
Right?
In Ghana.
Imagine the weird shit you could find.
Oh my god. I would have the worst sort of questioning from TSA.
I'll talk about this a little bit later, but I brought some odd car parts back in my carry-on.
they're like, you can't bring this on. I'm like, where on your list of contraband is this not allowed?
I looked it up ahead of time because I thought I was going to run into issues. Said it was totally fine, and yeah, people in front and behind me had their bags checked. Not me. Not me. Basically, as long as it's devoid of oil and grease, you can put whatever you want on an airplane.
Perfect.
Yeah,
that's good. Wow, look at that red interior.
I know.
Except for the pop bottles they sell in Galaxy Edge at Disney World. In their Star Wars unit, they have different shaped pop bottles, and they're round with a small lid. So they were getting confused for grenades.
Great. It's like one of those little
The problem has now since been resolved, and you can bring them on planes. But when Galaxy Edge first opened, it was such a problem that TSA had to put it on the list of banned items.
Oh my god, that's really cursed.
I mean, I suppose it's metal and it's that shape, so it probably flags it.
Well, it's not metal, they're plastic, but they're still that shape, so they had to retrain their systems.
Imagine doing a firmware update on TSA X-ray scanners.
Oh, it'd be horrible.
Oh my god.
So one of the things that he's actually looking for, this guy that they're interviewing is looking for, is he had to find an upper radiator hose for a 2.3190E in Ghana without Amazon or Rock Auto availability. He had to physically find these items.
And it's not a particularly weird hose, but it does have a couple bends in it, and that's the kind of thing where you do need it to be pretty close.
The bends make it impossible to find, on a because that's the thing is people go, oh, that shouldn't be that hard. No, if you can't just kink a radiator hose,
right?
That doesn't.
It will just collapse and stop flowing.
Yeah, that will just heat up your whole overheat your whole car.
Oh, they have a Yaris.
Yeah, and so he actually refurbishes these and puts them on one of his cars. But yeah, he's got I just think it's just so fascinating that they have literally no help at all, and they're able to make this just function. I just think that's the coolest thing in the world.
Or even formal training, yeah.
Well, yeah, no formal training. God, if I didn't go to auto tech and I was trying to do this, like, oh my god, especially if I was in just like the desert and having to like, this was very difficult. But this guy makes a career out of it. I think it's absolutely fascinating. I'm trying to get to his name.
Okay, so the clip where he's driving the car away with the makeshift radiator hose, it is hemorrhaging coolant.
Yes. Yeah. So his name is Sakudu J. Buhari Jr. So, yeah, very cool dude. Absolutely worth getting a spotlight on German BBC, Deutsche Welle. So, that's, if you ever want to be a car enthusiast in Ghana, that's what it's like.
It sounds more interesting than being a car enthusiast in an area where you do have access to
I think
Amazon.
what's funny is this guy makes better cars than most people in rural Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. Even not so rural Minnesota, probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna give the Twin Cities a break, but but I mean, rural Minnesota, you should be able to build a reasonable car because you live next to a junkyard,
Also,
and you have Amazon, and you have the whole internet.
and it's a 2 or 3 hour drive max to the cities if you do need a bunch of stuff.
Exactly.
So,
This guy, he's got a several day flight if he needs to get to a Summit Racing distribution center,
which would be quite expensive.
and time consuming. More importantly,
Yes.
time is money. So yeah.
All right,
Anyway.
on something way less heartening, I'm sure you saw this because I think I saw your reaction, but
I think I sent it to you.
why the hell, I saw it on the Facebox, but okay, so the new Z, which was codenamed 400Z, the new Z, Nissan, for some godforsaken reason,
Nobody
has
asked for this.
stretched it vertically into a crossover
No.
and has built one for an auto show.
Nobody asked for this.
No.
We don't want this.
No, we do not want this.
Nobody said they wanted this.
This is like a Japanese Levante. Just stop it.
Oh
Just
no! The thing is with the Levante has a purpose where people actually buy it. Because like a Levante at least says Maserati on it. This is just a
True.
Nissan. You're not gonna buy a Nissan. Plus, you already have the Murano.
And
Make
the Rogue.
Murano.
And just all this other
Make
garbage.
your current crossovers better. Don't bastardize a good car.
Okay, I mean, a long time ago, especially like when Mitsubishi took the Eclipse name and put it on the Eclipse Cross, we saw a rumor, and we covered it years ago, about Nissan contemplating bringing the Z or the Fairlady name to...
And the Eclipse Cross is clearly so competitive.
Yeah, that did so well.
Yeah, and so did the Blazer.
Oh, God.
Also, a great exercise in using your name correctly. The Bronco versus the Blazer. Similar vehicles historically. Now they're not.
Correct.
And the Bronco is eating all of Chevy's combined crossovers for lunch.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Because all of Chevy's crossovers have the exact same soulless, boring, purposeless piece of unibody junk. And the full-size Bronco is actually...
Good.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
does the thing that it was engineered to do really well.
Yeah, there's actually, I love that they made a Raptor version of Bronco, and
I
that's
know,
called the
right?
Braptor.
Not officially, though. That's just
No,
like...
that's just what everybody calls
right,
it.
yeah,
though.
the Braptor.
The Braptor, it's a great name. But, no, the Bronco's just a great vehicle. Like, even when you get into the weird, bad automatics, like, it's still a great vehicle. Like, an automatic Bronco Badlands is better than quite literally any GM SUV, manual or automatic.
Even considering your Bronco Badlands will be in the back of a dealership
Yeah.
for quite a while, awaiting new cylinder heads.
Yeah,
it's
no,
still
that's what I
better.
mean. Like, if you just get literally any Bronco, automatic or manual, I would say an automatic Bronco is better than a manual GM crossover.
If in a hypothetical world that existed, maybe.
Well, I mean, like, if you had a manual Trax, which the first generation Trax did come with a manual front-wheel drive only version,
Okay.
that I would take a automatic Bronco over that. Reason being that a manual front-wheel drive Trax is just a worse
Isn't that a
version.
Daewoo?
Yeah, it's just a worse Chevy, like, Spark. Not Spark. Chevy
Sonic.
It's just a worse Sonic. So I'm not going to reward them for putting a manual transmission into a worse vehicle and not offering it with all-wheel drive. They just made it worse. And they're like, here, people like manuals, so here's your manual option as the worst possible version.
I'm
Like,
still not sure I would lean
Now,
the same
if
way,
it-
but I get what you're saying.
no, but if there's a manual Bronco will defeat all,
Which
literally
there is.
any single, there is no American vehicle, no American truck I would buy over a manual Bronco. That is my number one American truck.
What's a non-American truck you would buy over it?
It just gets hard, so because I have to think about things. VinFast?
Okay.
I think of VinFast I'd buy over it, actually.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, it's still a truck. Ooh, no, any K truck, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, literally any K truck.
Fair,
yeah.
fair.
I would take any K truck. I would take Zamyad, obviously.
Oh, yeah, that goes without
but,
saying.
like, things that are actually available in America that are not... that are not American trucks I would buy over a Bronco would probably be a VinFast and possibly a Tacoma TRD Pro.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing, boy, that has been just refined over the last...
The thing is like, I know it's automatic only, but I also know that the Taco TRD Pro...
Really?
Yeah.
They pulled the 6-speed finally?
Well, in the TRD Pro.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure you can only get that with an automatic. But the reason I'm saying that is that automatic will work when the Bronco blows up because the Bronco's a dumb American truck and will have timing chain problems. The TRD Pro will not.
It already does, thank goodness.
The TRD Pro will not. So that's why I would buy the Taco over the Bronco, because I know it will work. I will have overall less fun, but I will consistently have fun.
I was talking with my Lyft driver yesterday coming back from the airport. The first guy was in a Sienna, and it was 15 minutes away, and he canceled on me the minute he got to the airport. So I waited 15 minutes for this guy to just come to me. Second guy immediately picked up in a 2013 Grand Caravan with 400,000 miles on it.
That's incredible.
I talked to the guy. He's like, it's the original trans. I did have to put one engine in it. I'm like, that's amazing.
That's really wild.
So I just had a conversation the entire time with him about his vehicle, how he maintained it, his history with it.
How do you do that?
He was asking, it's just fluid changes. That's it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, he had a Master Guard oil change sticker on his windshield, so clearly he's just doing it in his driveway or something. But, like, super duper nice guy.
That's incredible.
It was original trans in a Grand Caravan 3.3 with 400,000 miles on it.
That's bananas.
It's nuts, and it didn't hiccup, it didn't flare. The trans felt fine.
Wow.
The engine didn't sound super good.
What's the 3.3?
The fact that it's only on its second 3.3 is kind of amazing.
Yeah, that's insane. You know, Trig's dad, he cleared the odometer on a Plymouth Breeze.
Oh my god.
He did that by doing fluid changes, and he didn't follow manufacturer's recommendation. He knew better.
And our conversation went that way, because he's like, oh, I was thinking about getting X, Y, and Z. I'm like, don't do that, because the manufacturer is telling you to maintain it incorrectly.
Yeah.
So, like, if you really want a new car, like, you just have to end up in a Honda or a Toyota. Because,
Yeah,
like,
well,
those will still work.
This is the thing, is
20-year-old engines. Like,
I know a lot of people, most people who listen to us regularly know why manufacturers do that,
Correct.
but when you have your emissions requirements, you have to report to the government.
Cafe carb stuff.
Yeah, your cafe carb stuff, that includes the maintenance over the life of the vehicle.
Oh, over the warranty period.
Sorry, over the warranty period of the vehicle, life.
Pretty much these days, yeah.
But
sleep
that
7.95.
maintenance period over the warranty of the vehicle, if you're saying, oh, you have to do your oil changes every...
I could hear this sweater.
Oh, sorry.
That's right.
If you do your oil changes every 10,000 miles, yeah, it'll do fine during warranty. It will completely explode at 100,000 miles, though.
Well, I was talking to him, too. Is like, we're using thinner and thinner oil for longer intervals. And, like, the real kicker, it's not even the thinness of the oil. It's DI. It's direct injection.
Yeah.
Because that is not operating under such high pressure. It's blowing fuel past the rings into the oil. Mm-hmm. And the engines don't get hot enough to get rid of everything.
Yeah.
So if you don't really, really fervently change out your oil every, like, 5,000 miles on a DI car, especially with 0W16 in it, you're going to break it.
You will, absolutely.
It's just going to happen.
That's why, like, with the Fiat, I just use 530, just normal oil, because I don't want to put in super watery oil, because I know
The turbo engine's supposed to have 40.
Or, you know what I mean, 540.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm used to Japanese cars.
Well, the regular 500 specs 30.
Yeah, so, but as opposed to, so 540. But as opposed to running your normal, like, European car water oil.
Oh, my God.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm putting in normal oil that I would put into a Toyota.
Correct.
Because that works better. And, like, with Good Karma, they found that not doing what Volkswagen said regularly made the car more reliable.
Shocking.
Yeah, and you could tell the people that came to Good Karma for catastrophic issues only versus the people that came in for their normal maintenance, because the normal maintenance people had Tiguan's that had just new problems, not redoing the same problem.
Sure.
Whereas I worked there long enough where I saw the same person put in 2 sets of timing chains in their Tiguan. Because they
Was
put in their
really-
set of timing chains, and they drove it another 70,000 miles doing Volkswagen recommended maintenance, even though we told them not to.
Oh, God.
And then they put in another timing chain.
Watching somebody like that, watching their face when you explain to them that the manufacturer's wrong about their own product is just like...
They don't understand. And like I even explained, I'm like, I know that the manufacturer says this, but the manufacturer has ulterior motives.
Right, they have
They're
motivation.
They're trying to push this vehicle through emissions.
Correct.
And I also sound like, you have to remember, this is the same manufacturer that also cheated on diesel emissions to sell diesel cars.
Right.
So like really cannot trust them on emissions. But yeah, they push these cars through emissions, but they do so by just lying to your face about it.
Well,
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's funny because you would know each customer's name, and I always knew which ones were the ones that were infrequently because of catastrophic issues. And
I'd be able to just like drop somebody's first name. I'm like,
I'd
yeah,
be
so
like, oh, I know the car. Or it would know the people that came in for regular maintenance because they did come in more often than, you
Sure.
normally
Jana would
would.
like
Well, they
wonder
should.
why I'm like stressed out. I'm like, oh yeah, Jill is in today. She goes, oh.
Oh, yeah. And then, like, the regular guys, like
sorry.
Pavel, that came in at regular intervals, as Good Karma suggested, and they were much happier and much nicer. Like, they would often leave treats for everyone.
Nice.
Every time Pablo came in, he'd always bring in Pilsner, Urkel, and
Good
Polish
man.
chocolates for Jana.
Good man.
He's an incredible human being. If you ever need your face rebuilt, go to Pavel, because that's what he does.
There's always a Pavel for something.
Yeah.
There's a Pavel for
There's
everybody.
a Pavel
yeah.
for everybody.
Yeah, there's Pavel for Tesla problems, and Pavel for facial reconstructive surgery and learning how to sail boats. Yeah.
I mean, that's a hell of a tangent. Yeah, no, you're right.
There's a Pavel for
Dead on.
everything.
There is a Pavel for
I've
everyone.
never run into a problem that somebody named Pavel cannot fix.
Simultaneously, a lot of Pavels that really can't help.
Yeah,
So you got to
but-
know your Pavels.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you have the right Pavel, but there's a Pavel for everything. Well, I mean, yeah, you know what? Speaking of, there's a Pavel for everything. There's a Pavel for sending other people to Pavels because you listen to the wrong Pavel. That's what
True.
you have to do.
You have to
find
get multiple Pavel points
Yeah,
to
and then-
plot your Pavel chart
Yeah,
to get to the right Pavel.
Yeah, and even the Pavels have other lesser Pavels which do things poorly.
Starting
That's
to no
what it
longer
is.
sound like a name.
So, on that bombshell, we were going to move on to Chinese EV scooters.
Oh, yes.
And have you heard of Gogoro?
Not until
Which
just
is
now.
also a great
That sounds like
name.
Totoro, but Gogoro.
Totoro.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great name. So the Taiwanese
The Pablo Go?
Gogoro EV scooter program looks really awesome. They're actually expanding out of Taiwan into Israel and Singapore. So what they have is currently they have 2,200 battery swap stations in Taiwan
Yeah.
for like scooters. They're just like short range electric scooters. They're great. They look stinking adorable too.
Yes.
They're very cute. Honey, look at the screen. Look how cute these guys are.
Oh, yeah, I've
They look
seen
like
them.
Yamaha did like a really boxy, rounded off
They
49cc like
Yeah.
20 years ago. Looks kind of like that.
Oh, the C2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a C2.
I like those.
Yeah, C2s are very cool, and I see them for sale on Facebook Marketplace fairly regularly. I kind of want one.
Now that's a electric conversion candidate right there.
Yeah, and that's basically what Gogoros look like. And I think that this is a perfect solution to your inner city, low range EVs.
Oh, I see
Like-
on the dash here, like, and we'll get to the battery swapping
Yeah.
again, but like it shows 2 batteries in there, so it's
Yeah,
clearly
there are 2
designed
batteries, yeah.
to have user swappable.
Exactly, and you just pop it out. Like
Yeah.
it's super easy.
like
There's
my
a button on
snowblower, I'm
top.
sure.
Yeah, it's just like pulling the battery off like a Ryobi drill.
Just bigger, probably.
Yeah, it's just bigger. That's all it is. And then you take it to the swap site and you pop in a new one, and then you can just like charge them at home. But I think that this is perfect for something like
so cute.
if you get what the Mitsubishi i-MiEV was.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine how much more useful that would be if you had a swappable battery. And like there were just swap stations at like
Yeah.
highway rest stops. Like I could then drive an iMayev to Chicago
Yeah.
and be fine.
Yep.
And just swap out batteries.
Yeah, it would
That's
just be
perfect.
swapping every 40 miles or something.
That would be
Every
really
50, but
helpful
yeah.
because America's so vast.
Yeah, and so I think that something like this is the play, and I think that there's a added safety benefit when you have people actually stopping at rest stops, because like you can drive past them, and then you kind of go, you start getting tired,
Yeah.
and you stop paying as much attention.
Fuel ranges on some modern vehicles
Are longer than the
insane.
human range.
Oh, yeah.
Like I know my range is about 400 miles.
Like a lot
Before-
of diesels are 800 miles. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to cycle you don't have to get out of the car.
No.
You can go in interstate speed.
I am a 400 mile person. About 200 is when I should take a break, but I can do 400 before I'm dead. Theoretically, I might die between 2 and 4.
It takes a lot of planning with the bladder for me, but I probably could.
No, I could definitely do 400 miles. But I don't know if I should. I should probably stop at 200, rest myself.
Electric road trips
For a
are
minute.
awesome.
Yeah, because it does actually force you to stop.
Forces you
for
to
a
break
second.
it up.
And I
Yeah,
think
because
that
in the CRX we'd make it to Chicago in impeccable timing because we did not stop.
No.
Yeah, no, the CRX
right
is
on
a
the edge
prime
of-
example of no. I would have enough gas left in the CRX to drive around in Chicago, drive back, and refill in like Toma.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, the CRX is an insane fuel economy because it was
It's nice.
fuel
but
miser.
I guess.
I'm actually going to say something good about the CRX, and it was the fuel economy. That's the only good thing you'll
But
ever
you know what you
hear.
could do is you could also get the exact same
looked
fuel
really good.
economy in a Civic, and it's better in every way.
True.
So the CRX is just a
I
bad
was going to say,
Civic.
all the cool stuff that was on your CRX, if you put that on a Civic hatch, it would have been better.
Yeah.
But I still really liked your CRX.
Yeah, it was fine. It was good. It was a very good car. It looked cool. People like that it looked cool. I'm never ever going to own one again. I'm gonna.
Oh, we've had the conversation.
Yeah, no.
I remember.
EF Civics, yes, all day long. CRX is never again. So there's another thing that Gogoro is trying to do is they're hoping to eventually replace tuk-tuks. Because I never thought about this, but the average tuk-tuk
Yeah.
emits as much CO2 as 10 Jeep Wranglers.
I believe that.
Because if you think about it,
It's like gas scooters
it
in the
is
same way.
Well, I mean, no. If you think about it, it's a gas scooter, but it is also poorly maintained and a two-stroke engine
Yep.
in an area that does not have any.
With no
like-
catalyst.
Yeah, no catalyst, no emissions requirements.
Yep.
Yeah, and like the tuk-tuks suck. Like as far like environmentally, they're
And if
very
you just
cool.
had 4 of these battery cells in a tuk-tuk,
Yeah, you're
just
fine. Yeah, it's totally fine. And then like you can just recharge them everywhere. And
Yep.
that's why we were talking about. I think Nigeria had their EV.
I can't remember
their EV microbus program that they were working on, and the EV delivery scooters.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
the scooters, and it seems like a genius idea, especially in a country that doesn't necessarily have a super robust power grid.
Yeah, exactly. I think having well, just even with a good power grid, I think having a swappable battery is huge.
Yeah,
'Cause,
and
like-
you can incentivize current service stations.
Yeah, you incentivize service stations. I mean, in America, if you think about something like this, now,
Could have actually nice rest stops.
well, now you actually nice rest stops. Now every single city on a highway has a reason to go there. Like you go there to swap your battery out,
Yeah,
but like at that battery swap station, you have to get out of the car. Well, to get out of the car, now you can actually go and enjoy the city for a second.
right.
Like, there's a lot of cool things. Like, I think if Toma, Wisconsin had something like this, like, you could easily put a nice restaurant next to it. And then if somebody doesn't want to, like, pay the premium to swap their battery, they could just recharge it and go eat at the restaurant,
I do
which
wonder-
would then cost as much money as swapping it.
When we get to the point where these electric vehicles get efficient enough, and I'm mainly talking about larger stuff like cars, where the battery density and the weight of them and the size of them is to
Yeah.
the point where somebody could feasibly elect to swap out 5 suitcase-sized 40-pound batteries and
Yeah.
be on their way
So,
instead of charging.
NIO,
Mm-hmm.
Tesla's competitor in East Asia, NIO has a program like that, and they're in Germany now. And what NIO has swap centers where you can, I think, once or twice a month, a certain time per month, swap out the battery. And what you do is you
That's
just
like a
drive.
drive-in.
Well, you drive the car in. No, you drive the car in. You stay in the car,
Mm-hmm.
and you just drive over the swap thing. It's a little automated, pulls your battery out,
Yeah, but the
pops a new one in.
Model S and X can do that too, and it never propagated because they couldn't figure out a good enough way to get it done.
What that's the thing is NIO actually has.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ah.
Like, it's like a drive-through car wash. And you just put your car there, and the car goes on automated mode. Automates itself into where it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
You put it in park. And then it swaps out the battery. There's another secondary battery that controls the interior stuff.
Yep.
And then it just swaps out the drive battery.
Right. Traction battery.
Yeah, and actually, that's a feasible thing that Neo has, and
I think it's a good idea. I mean, there are people that are willing to pay substantially more, I'm sure, to stop for shorter periods of time. So
and
why
that's
not?
well with Neo, what you do is you get a certain number free per month to do that. So if you're traveling a lot, you can just use your free battery swap. I think it's like 1 or 2. But I think that's the way to do it, is because you're not getting rid of the battery. You're not throwing it to the ocean.
No, and then you can like slow charge it too when it's in
exactly, and that's
cheaper power.
And yeah, so for Neo, like, it makes sense. Is you have a slow charge, you put on a solar grid, like, that makes way more sense than fast charging and blowing your Tesla batteries to hell.
Well, that and just the grid too.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, that's what I mean. Like, there's like several issues, whereas Neo can do what they want, and they have enough batteries that they're good.
Right.
And I think we were talking about VinFast, and VinFast had their battery lease agreement thing to lower the price. I wonder if that's what they're going to do with the batteries. They're going to be.
They would almost
swappable.
have to, because the biggest issue with Tesla, why they never really kept doing it, is like tracking the degradation over time.
Yeah.
Was really tough, because you had like customer-owned packs, different sizes, like physically they're the same size, but capacities, and it just they focused on trying to charge them faster rather than building out that fast charge infrastructure. But yeah, they could. Like, the cars are still, to this day, the automated thing can do it in 5 minutes. I mean, it's not a complicated process.
I think that's going to be the ultimate play here, is doing the automated battery swap.
It's like it's standard as a form factor for the batteries. I can see that happening.
And, you know, there's a reason why you have a Group 35 battery. You have group-size batteries. Right. Because, like, if you look at pre-war cars, they were made of wood.
Largely, yes, that's true.
And if you looked at their sizes, they were made up. They were just wacky. It was whatever you felt like that day. It was the size of your battery, and it was
and it's like a stitched leather pouch with electrolyte in it.
Yeah, no, it's really dumb how their batteries were. And now what people have done, because we have 120 years of figuring out how to put batteries in cars, you just put a normal motorcycle battery inside the wood box of the old battery.
Yep.
It's just, old batteries are ridiculous. And I think a lot of people with EV cars, and this is like, a lot of people are scared of change because they just don't look at history. And me being somebody that obviously loves history, when you see EV cars, there's so many parallels to what we were going through 120 years ago.
Yeah. When
cars were in their infancy. It's like, how are you going to power them? Like, are you going to use gas? Are you going to use steam? Or use electricity? I still think steam is the play. But
have you seen the mental capacity of an average individual operating a steam-powered machine?
Yeah, it's massive.
No, it's super dangerous.
Yeah, no, I think you said mental capacity. I'm like, yes, the big brain, very big brain.
Well, yeah, I'm saying, like, nobody that operates like a Rogue is going to be able to operate a steam-powered vehicle. Okay, you know what? I've just changed my mind.
This is why I'm a fan of steam.
I've changed my mind.
I was having a conversation yesterday where I said, I understand I have some takes that aren't the
too
best.
Hot.
They're too hot. And that's okay. I'm not going to disagree with you for disagreeing with me. I don't think that I don't have takes that are like racist and shitty. I just have hot takes about weird things, such as steam being objectively better than every other power source.
In a lot of ways, that is correct.
I'd like to mention that this came up after he was suggesting everyone watch the show Degrassi.
It's a great show.
Okay.
You know, the
I'm familiar
youth
with it. I haven't
drama
watched it.
from our youths. We're rewatching it, and Ryan's obsessed with it.
It's a great show.
It's totally fine.
I love that show. I will defend
But everyone
Degrassi
was
to
like,
the death.
"Whoa, Ryan, we don't agree with you." And he's like, "You don't have to agree with me."
I'm like, this is my belief that Degrassi's an objectively great show.
It's fine.
It is as good as Miami Vice, which I find to be the peak of the peak of television writing was Miami Vice. We peaked a long time ago. It's been downhill since then.
Your takes are insanely hot.
Yeah.
So hot.
I will actually be able to defend these. And
that's fine. I have no interest in arguing that particular
that is how I
point,
feel about Steam.
Well, people were arguing with him, and he's like, "Hey, look."
Listen, I'm not fighting here. I'm just telling you my personal belief.
He's
I
like,
know.
this is why I like this show. And he's like, I think everybody needs to give it a second shot because
Yeah.
when you're a teenager, you're just going through those, so you haven't had time to like reflect. And it actually kind of heals how adults treated you as like a teenager.
Well, that's what Jana says. I just say this is
and
like...
he likes the writing, so.
I'm
As
like,
long
this-
as, yeah.
It is written in a similar way to like Law and Order or Miami Vice, where you have like everybody's a shade of gray. There's nobody that's objectively a good person or a bad person.
Okay.
Like even the person like Emma, who's like your Greta Thunberg, like environmentalist, like good person. She's like a huge
ruins
bitch.
everybody's relationship.
She's a catastrophic bitch, like all the time. And so she's like yeah, she should be the good person, but she's like doesn't have the correct operations of a human to be a good person. Yes.
Like, yeah, no, all the information's there, but your pipe dream path is missing a lot of really important stops.
That's exactly the thing. She's like, ultimately, yeah, she's like lawful good. That's what she is. Lawful
Jesus
good
Christ.
does not make good things happen. So, yeah.
And then everybody calls her out on it consistently. They're like, go save the turtles, Emma.
Anyway, tell us about DeTomaso.
So this was a story I picked up just before the last time we recorded, which would have been probably a month ago at this point. It's not that interesting. We're going to cover it anyway. So the world, of course, needs more 1-to-1 power-to-weight ratio hypercars, right?
Yes. That we need more of that in every sense, yes.
Correct. So DeTomaso is going to go ahead and do that with their new P900, which unfortunately is not a Pantera, but maybe
That's
also
fine.
fortunately it's not a Pantera.
No. The Pantera, everybody likes it, so it's not that great.
So the reason when I was originally pre-reading this article, which I very rarely do, I really liked it only because Gordon Murray, his new cars, he goes on and on about how they're like the epitome, they're the best V12 that will ever be made. Yet this one actually does have a couple things that it does better. So it's able to achieve a slightly higher redline, it has a slightly better specific output, and I believe the crank height is the same as the T50, which is really, really impressive. So it's a 12,300 RPM, naturally aspirated, no electric assist.
I have an issue with Gordon Murray saying stuff like that.
Well, I do too.
Anybody that ever deals in absolutes
A
is a
Sith.
Sith. But also, they open themselves up to being wrong, and I find it extremely arrogant. And I know I've done it,
Well,
but I also know that I can be arrogant.
Well, I mean, Gordon Murray did bring us the F1, but he's still riding that wave.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Like, you aren't the sole reason why that car was amazing.
Enzo Ferrari brought us the 250 GTO. He also brought us the 400i.
And probably other garbage stuff too, but I'm blanking now.
What's Lamborghini's name? Ferruccio Lamborghini?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, Ferruccio Lamborghini. Yeah, he brought us a Mira. He also brought us the Urama, which I'm the only person that likes, and I know that.
That's fine.
Like, just because somebody brought us something good doesn't make them a good person. Like Elon Musk gave us the Model S. Would you put Elon Musk in the good person category? I
No,
wouldn't.
I give credit to the Model S to the designer,
Yeah.
not Elon, because like we could have an entire episode about what's going on with Tesla right now.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
I'm so
It's
excited
so
to go
Screw
there.
Musk. Oh my god.
So-
I mean, I've said that since before I bought the car.
I have
but-
always called him chaotic good, which is not necessarily a good thing. As I
Right.
called Emma lawful good. Being on the good side historically of things doesn't make you a good person.
Correct. No, I've looked into that before too.
Like
'cause I was-
Truman's a dickhead, and he was better than Hitler. Yeah, like sure, okay, cool. You're better than Hitler and Stalin. All right, great. But
Congratulations.
You're still a dickhead. Like, but anyway, yes.
I'm working through that.
Going back to
I really like the styling of the back end of this thing. It's just got that like it almost looks like a
looks very
59
cool.
Thunderbird or whatever.
Can
it's
you
got
bring
like
a
those-
photo of it on the screen? 'Cause
Oh,
you've
I'm
not had
sorry.
it this whole
I'm
time.
sorry.
Yeah,
Should've
it
told
looks
me earlier.
great.
The front is kind of meh. It looks super generic, but yeah.
Well,
the-
actually, most of it looks generic in a
it
different
kind
way.
of does, but like those like
You know-
jet
you know what it
fighter
looks
portal head or tail
It
lights.
looks like a car from F-Zero for Super
oh,
Nintendo.
yeah, it does.
It looks just like a car from F-Zero.
But wheels. It does not have a manual transmission, which is really lame.
Isn't it like, is it just like a direct drive or something? Or?
No, it doesn't pull like a Regera thing. It's just a paddle shift single clutch.
That's dumb.
But it isn't in production yet, so they still have time to change the error of their ways.
Yeah, no, you can make it worse by making it better.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And like, let's be
Or
honest.
make it better by making it worse.
We're
yeah.
in the era now where, like, if you're going to build something with a V12 in it, you may as well just cater straight to that one little niche that's buying it, because they all want the manual.
This is the thing, and I learned this a long time ago, actually, when I had my Civic.
Okay.
You'll never be the fastest person in the world. You just need to have enough power to make yourself happy.
Correct.
That's why I'm okay with cars that are under 200 horsepower. I have enough power to make me happy. I'm not trying to prove myself to the world.
I'm very rarely in a vehicle where I'm like, this is underpowered.
Yeah. No, yeah. You get terrified by your turbocharged wagon. It's quick.
That's a very fast car.
I've been faster, but...
Probably, but you've also never been in that car.
I've been in that car.
Not under boosted power.
Yeah, I have.
Only John has.
No. We brought it to
Oh, yeah. Well,
Cars and Craft and overheated.
Well, okay.
That's when
You've never been in that car under power.
I have.
No.
The rear end was
No,
kicking out.
only John has been
Okay.
in that car under boost.
But
You
this
rode
is-
in it when it was at 6 PSI. John rode in it when I put the engine in out of the E36.
Yeah, so but this is the thing is, like, you can have a car that...
The car's terrifying.
Yeah, no, it is terrifying, but that's the thing is, like,
'Cause
you
it's
can have
bad.
cars that are, like, silly fast, but, like, it's still fun to drive even with a quarter the amount of power.
It was better
That's-
with 100 horsepower.
Well, that's what I'm saying is you can have a car that's fun to drive while slow or fast or whatever. You don't need to have peak performance all the time.
That's a phase that
Also-
everyone goes through,
Yeah,
and then
the
they
peak,
stop.
The peak performance thing also, like, cool. You've now spent millions and millions of dollars to have a car that's going to be the fastest car in the world for about 6 months.
If
like-
even.
If that, yeah.
If even.
Great job.
Because there's all these car manufacturers are running out years in advance.
Like when Andrew Tate was trying to flex on Greta Thunberg with his Bugatti Veyron. I'm like, tight, dude. You had a car as the fastest car in the year, or fastest car in the world that's in high school. Like,
Right.
Okay.
All
There's
the
many
rest
cars
is
that are
automatic
faster
cars.
than it now. Like,
Yeah, like the most recent drag race replay I wrote it from Haggerty, Camisa. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, they showed a Chiron Sports Plus or whatever getting its teeth kicked in by a Lucid. It's like, okay,
yeah.
great. You can just go buy that, you know?
You just have a sedan now.
Yeah,
Cool.
which is good.
Also,
Better.
I absolutely love the story about Andrew Tate and Greta Thunberg. Are you aware of what
Yeah,
happened?
I am. I was on vacation, but you can't avoid certain stories. So
That was
I'm
one of
aware
the best
it.
stories I've ever heard. That was so funny. It's vaguely car related, so that's why I wanted to bring that up.
It did
He
start with the
keeps-
car post,
He
yeah.
keeps throwing people being like, but you don't have a Bugatti.
They're like, well,
Someone's mentioned he's in prison now. His cars might go up for auction if
Mhm.
they were, you know.
purchased illegally, and they totally
Yeah,
were.
so
Mhm.
somebody suggested we buy his
You know what?
Bugatti and break it into teeny tiny pieces.
I'd say, yeah.
and then
buy
we
his
all
Bugatti,
have
turn
a
it to
Bugatti.
Turn
and he
it,
has
turn it into a
zero.
washing machine. Or no, Greta Thunberg hasn't had her first car.
Oh, God. Yeah, as if she wants a Bugatti.
No, but I think it'd be hilarious if she had ownership of it.
That's true. Okay, so
That
before
would be
we break it
incredible.
up into a million
no,
pieces,
like
Yeah.
the titles
It's
in Greta
titled in Greta
Thunberg's name
Thunberg.
would be incredible. Like, I
it's
love
all those
that.
FU Greta stickers on people's
Yeah.
catalyst deleted cars and be like, well, actually, she has a Chiron.
Yeah, so she's got a quote unquote cooler car than you.
Her car's faster than yours.
She just chooses not to use it. Here we go.
Okay, that might need to happen.
I like
now.
that. I like that idea. If I had billions of dollars, I would buy Greta Thunberg a Bugatti, and she wouldn't have to use it. I would just like to
In
be.
fact,
able-
it would be
have
better
Gre-
if she didn't.
Yes, I would. I think it'd be hilarious for just the world to know that Greta Thunberg also has a Bugatti, and she just
I'm
chooses
really
not
about
to use. This is great.
I'm really about this. But I mean, I'm also fine with it being completely blown apart and like.
Yes,
cut up
turned
into
into
pieces. Yeah,
several washing
But yes,
machines.
good. All human traffickers need to be thrown in prison.
Yes. Also, this DeTomaso, it's gonna be cool. It'll be better with the manual.
Yes, hopefully. I mean, it's not officially released yet, so maybe they'll have.
You know, speaking of things that are better, even though they're slower, LSs are fine. But you know what's better than an LS?
K.
A half of an LS.
So a shittier K.
Nope, this is not a K at all. This is just a half of an LS because a K.
It's a shittier K.
No, a K series has dual brake cams, variable valve
yeah,
timing.
it's better.
It's completely different. Also, flat plane crank. This does not. It's a cross plane. This is just a half of an LS.
Yep.
And so this I'm very here for because I think this is Blueprint Engines, if I'm not
It
mistaken.
is, yep.
Blueprint Engines made a half V8, which I'm here for.
Well, it's like
And-
a new Trophy 4, but good.
Yeah, no, I'm very here for this. I actually mentioned that. I'm like, cool. Now somebody needs to make a Trophy 4 Tempest with the little flexi drive shaft and the 2-speed transaxle. That with a half of an LS.
A drive shaft no thicker than a man's thumb.
Yeah, this is great. Like, this would be absolutely perfect.
I saw your comment on that. I'm like, I was waiting for it.
Yeah, no, this needs to like totally be put into like a half V8. Because like, there's a lot of very cool vehicles that came with half V8. So, International Scouts came with them. Land Rover Defenders came with them. The Tempest, obviously. There's a lot of cool half V8s that were around like in the 60s.
And this, I can't remember the power figures they quoted, and obviously this is a really high-end one with a billet head and everything, but 3.6-liter displacement, which is a really big LS-based displacement for 4 cylinders, but it made like 450 foot-pounds of torque or something like that.
I'm absolutely here for this.
And like 300 horsepower. I'm like, okay, I want to hear how it sounds. I bet it sounds awful.
Oh, no, this totally sounds like a Fiero. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, now we know what we're putting it in.
This is an Iron Duke, yeah.
We need a Grumman LLV stat.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Oh my God.
I absolutely am in love with this engine. I want this very badly. So, yeah, I just want the block. I can get the rest of the crap for it, like
that
from
it's
a
an
junkyard.
iron block too. Like, you know, they did that. Well, not even just for cost, but like because they're gonna boost it and see what it'll do.
Yeah, because it's an LS. It's supposed to be an iron block. It's great. 10 out of 10. Big fan.
Even though LSs by definition are aluminum block, and everyone just calls LQs and LMs
It's a Vortec. I'm sorry, a half Vortec.
small block.
Yes. So, anyway,
I dig it.
let's talk about your Florida recap.
Okay, all right. So I spent a week in Florida, and
Why?
I booked the flight before the hurricane, and then I went to the area where the hurricane was. So it's my luck.
You
with travel.
wanted to look at slabs of concrete, basically.
I really like the beach.
Because it's really close
Really
to
like the
where
beach.
my parents have their condo, right?
Probably. I don't know.
I'm indifferent on the beach. I like the concept of the beach.
I really like the beach. I really like beach bars a lot.
Beach bars I like.
Beach bars, they're all gone right now, so
Yep.
none of those. But anyway, I flew down with my oldest sibling and his family essentially, and he got a rental vehicle, got out of the airplane,
What
no
was the rental
problem.
vehicle?
I'm getting to that. Walk over to the Avis budget line. They go.
Also, incredible renting and not using Turo in 2022.
There are not great Turo options down there, and none of
Because of
them
the
are close to the
flooding,
airport
yeah.
because, well, there's that. But the airport isn't close to anything.
Yeah.
Which is great for an airport, not great for Turo.
That makes sense. Okay, carry on.
I used the restroom next to the rental counter. This is something you all need to know. I came out. He was done, had the keys. I look at him. What did you get? And he goes, just gives me the face of like, oh no.
A big frown.
And I say to him, oh no, is it a Dodge Journey? And he looks back at me with the same face. I'm like, no, it's a Dodge Journey.
No, that's really bad.
Because we got similar from a Mirage into a Journey when we bought the Lamborghini. And that was an experience. Anyway, so it's a red
This is so bad. He's haunted by
Dodge
journeys.
Journey GT 3.6 with 52,000 miles on it.
I think that we should get Mark for his birthday a Dodge Journey.
Like a model of a Dodge Journey.
No, a real one.
No.
A real like buy here, pay here, like $400 Dodge Journey with like transmission and timing chain problems. I just say you got your car. I bought you. A
Since
car.
you can't seem to get away from them.
You love them so much. You keep getting them everywhere you go. You always get one. And I thought it'd be best if you just had one at home. Your very own.
The entire
Dodge
time,
Journey.
I'm like, what is the 4-cylinder, 4-speed auto one like? Because like the top trim all-wheel drive Pentastar 6-speed auto one was that bad.
That was when we got a rental from Honda for this when the CRX seatbelts were being replaced. Oh, what was that?
God, that's Civic. Yeah, it was like not the current gen. It's the 10th gen Civic. No, it's the 10th gen. This is a 9th generation Civic.
Is that the 2012 one?
No, is it
Like the most hated generation
the
of
bad
Civic?
one? The one that like
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, that one
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that
yeah.
generation. It was, that
Terrible
was
car.
the worst vehicle I've ever driven in my life.
So-
That is on par with the Mazda Millennia for as being one of the biggest letdowns. Because I came out of the greatest generation of Civic to objectively
The worst one.
worst. And like time has shown us that it is still the worst.
Yeah, and how shortly it was on sale also
It-
tells us
they
that.
bumped the mid-year change up a year, so they literally made the pre-facelift was 1 year only.
Yep.
And they bumped it forward, and they just canned it. And hopefully they canned the guy that was in charge of designing it because it was bad in every way.
that checks out. That tracks.
Yeah, it was a giant sack of shit.
So anyway, once we got it back to the condo, I used it to jumpstart our '06 Lexus ES330, and I drove that the rest of the time because it was significantly better. Also, when I started it, it sounded very, very poorly, but the 3MZ was fine. One thing I do want to say, I put premium fuel in that thing for the first time probably in its entire life, and all of the weird transmission, like, just not super nice feels that 5-speed
The hiccup
had
it has? Yeah, it's got
goes
weird hiccup.
completely away.
No fucking way.
Put premium in it, goes completely away. Because for the longest, for 2 years, I'm like, this trans is going to let go.
No, it doesn't. It's just that's how it is.
That's
it
just how
has
it is.
That weird little lurch.
It does that like freewheel thing, and then it catches. If you put premium in the car, it goes away.
Yeah, that's always happening. Oops, sorry. It happens.
Pre-war ES.
It happens to just the way that Jana drives. Mm-hmm. It happens every single time
It's
she's driving.
infuriating at low
It's
speed.
the worst sound. It's the worst feeling. I hate it.
Yeah.
Oh, I
That-
don't even notice.
Oh, it goes away.
Because you've only driven.
No,
that
seriously,
engine
I'm like-
as a daily driver. It does that weird lurch thing. The transmission.
If you're in like a parking lot and you put really light throttle pressure on it, when it gets up to like 1500 RPM,
It does
it'll
like
like
the
lurch.
2-3,
Oh,
that 2-3 lurch. It
probably.
does.
Oh, it
Yeah.
does that. Yeah, no, that's all fuel related apparently.
I'm
So anyway,
used
it's
to it.
fine, but if you want to get rid of that, that's how you do it. So
Huh.
there you go.
Now
I
I
do
know.
not have the money for that, so.
Well, do you want to hear some more bad things about the Dodge Journey?
Let's.
Did you know most small SUVs in America fail their crash tests?
I'm not surprised that every SUV wouldn't fail all their crash tests.
Because they're built to be the pass just, and then they raised the crash test ratings because now everybody has an SUV, so they raised the crash test vehicle to be SUV sized.
Good.
And yeah, HRVs like the one Jana's sister just bought, the 2021 Mazda CX-5 was actually okay. That was the only one that was okay, but
Okay.
the other 19 failed.
19.
1 out of 19 did. So the Q3, the Buick Encore, the Chevy Trax, the CRV, the Nissan Rogue, the Subaru Forester, the RAV4, the Venza. You know I love the Venza. And still, it's on here.
Well, the new Venza isn't
yeah,
an old
no,
Venza.
Yeah, but we're talking current.
Right.
XC40, Equinox, Escape, Terrain, Tucson, Compass, Renegade, Sportage, Corsair, sorry, Lincoln Corsair. Every single one of those got marginal or worse.
And the sled is 4,100 pounds, which is pretty light, and it only
Yep.
hits at 37 miles an hour.
Yeah,
Which is
that's
Not-
horrifying.
that's really bad.
That is super bad. That's the weight of the Buick, which is still
A light car now.
relatively lighter than, say, a Tesla
Yeah.
or
Yeah, it's
any pickup truck.
350 pounds lighter than my car.
Any pickup truck
Yeah, oh,
is
God, yeah.
heavier than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really bad. There were two modern crossovers that were worse than, like, the worst of the worst. So there's, like, you have, like, your 5-star ratings. So you have the cars that get, like, 2 stars or 3 stars or pretty much everything here. The ones that got 1 star were the Eclipse Cross, good, fuck that vehicle, and the HRV,
Oh, 1 star.
which I also hate, and that's what your sister just bought.
Yeah,
and
they're
I
not
had to
available
pretend
for
to be
stick
happy.
anymore, so.
But yeah, the HRV's B pillar broke at the bottom, and it allowed the crash sled
That's
to
happening right
push.
there.
Yeah, it allowed the crash sled to push halfway into the passenger compartment.
Like to the tunnel?
Yeah, it got stopped by the drive shaft.
Oh, there it is.
So say.
Oh,
Jan-
wow, it delaminated at the rocker.
Yeah, so if Patrick and Julie are in the car and they get T-boned by a truck,
Doing 37 miles an hour.
one of them is going into the hospital immediately and probably never walking again if they live.
Oh.
That's horrifying. Do not buy that car.
Don't buy a CUV. Got it.
Do not by any means buy that shit because this is literally worse than a Mirage did.
Well, I guess, yeah. You're dragging around that much extra weight, and it's just...
It's the weight of the vehicle working against you.
Yeah.
It's like before they had crumple zones in cars. They'd just make cars bigger and heavier. Well, all that extra weight is now a projectile towards you.
And, yeah, they didn't dissipate the energy.
Now that I know people actually buy these pieces of shit, I'm actually horrified about this. Is this what it's like to be a dad who has a
Probably.
teen driver that wants, like,
Probably.
God, this is awful. I don't
Youngest
want
driver, safest car.
This. Fucking A. I hate this. I'm such an old man now.
You made the art. I mean, you brought the article up.
I know, but then I started thinking about it.
Oh no.
Like, I don't like this at all. This is a bad world that we live in. They need to make this better. And by making this better, everybody needs a smaller, lighter car.
Correct.
We need to have
More Mirages.
Yes.
Fiat 500 can't come soon enough.
There should be a weight-related tax on cars for registration.
Yes.
Actually, yeah.
Or
No, that's exactly what we need. We need a weight-related tax because
Oh, it'd be phenomenal.
that'd be great.
My Fiat 124 would have no tax.
Like my Fiat 500, because it is newer and turbocharged, is more expensive than my Mazda 5, and that should not be true.
Correct.
My Fiat 500, I should be incentivized
To have a
drive that.
2,350-pound car, yeah.
Versus my older, worse, less fuel efficient, slower, less safe Mazda 5.
Correct. Which
Yeah.
is still cool.
It's
Love
cool,
Mazda.
don't get me wrong. But I also know what it is, and it's just objectively worse in every way than my Fiat.
That is correct, but
I like it.
Very
it's
cool.
fine.
Yeah.
I'm capable of putting my
Worse cars
entire
are better.
Well, also in this episode, I've been very pragmatic about my own opinions versus what is a fact. My Mazda 5 is worse than my Fiat,
correct.
but I like my Mazda 5 still. It's still a great vehicle.
I also like your
enjoy
Mazda
it.
5.
Yes.
I haven't seen it forever.
Yeah, I know. But the Fiat is very fun and good.
It's a fantastic car.
But the government disincentivizes me from driving, or
Doing
registering
anything.
it because it is $25 more expensive to register than my van.
Isn't that just the age right now?
Yes, that shouldn't be.
Right.
It's just ridiculous.
Right.
That my smaller, lighter, better car
Meanwhile, people are driving an 11-year-old pickup truck that weighs 8,000 pounds,
and has one functional brake,
and it's
on
$42 a year to register it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's ridiculous. I think that lighter cars should be cheaper to register.
Oh, don't forget the bald tires.
Yeah, and the bald tires.
Bald mud tires.
Lighter cars should be cheaper to register. It's just that our government disincentivizes people from doing
I think that's a
good things.
tremendous idea because lightweight is better in every single way.
Yeah, it really is, and that really does help with everything. And it's you can't say that lightweight cars aren't safe because Formula One cars crash into walls at fucking 200 miles an hour and you walk away from it.
They look terrible after you crash them because they dissipate the energy and take it away from you.
Yeah, the car explodes. You're right, and you walk away from it. Mm-hmm. I would rather be in a car that exploded and I walk away from it than an Edsel that didn't explode and I am now impaled by a steering wheel having to write my fucking will on my dashboard because I'm not able to be removed from the vehicle.
I mean, you had me at Edsel, really.
Yeah,
so.
I'm sorry. I should not be disincentivized to buy a lighter, better, safer
Well,
car.
we live in a very stupid country when it comes to cars. So
Yeah, and that's the thing is when you have I think that's a pretty fair tax. It's not a wealth tax or something where angry rich people are gonna be mad about it, which have takes on that. But
are they hot? Are they warm?
It depends on if you talk to other poor people. Poor people love my ideas.
Okay.
Rich people hate my ideas.
Ah.
But I think this weight-related tax is fine because also you don't have it be an insane amount. You cap it at something. Cap it at $30.
Right, keep the range that's there right now.
Because if you don't cap it at $30, a $30 maximum tax, then now
Screw that, cap it at 75. That's what the EV one is.
Oh yeah. What?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, my 500E was an extra $75 a year.
That's stupid.
Oh, you don't recoup the gas tax. I'm like,
No, fuck
and
that.
I don't care, but boy, people in the Tesla group lose their minds when they get their first renewal and they see that surcharge.
That
I
is
just
really
renewed
stupid.
the Sienna for $62.
Jeez, that's
It's
a lot.
Jesus
You must have a
Christ.
wheelage tax in your county.
Yeah.
No, we're in Ramsey, dude.
No wheelage
No,
tax?
I'm in Hennepin.
Oh, she's in Hennepin, but that's not wheelage tax.
It should be $42.50.
Yeah, why is that
For
so
anything
I will
over 10
show
years.
it to you, but
Okay.
no, I
I'm gonna
pay
believe you, but
about $62 a year.
I'm
that's,
for the
very
Sienna.
curious.
that's higher than it should be. Yeah, a 52 max.
But that's similar. That's what the tax should be
Well,
like.
yeah.
That is it working correctly.
yeah.
But also my Fiat should not be $60.
No,
Yeah, we'll have to see when I renew the tabs on the Lexus how much it changes.
it's over 10 years old, man. It should be 52 worst case down here. Because the counties are all different.
Huh.
Like Anoka County, I know is a
I'll
wheelage
have
tax.
to
It's
look
like
into
$13, but
what
Yeah,
I
I think-
charged because I think that is including the fees.
I think that the
if you
a
did it
tax
online,
on
there's fees.
a tax on heavier vehicles, obviously don't have it be unlimited.
Right.
But like, no, I should. If I didn't have collector plates on the Buick, like that should be more expensive to put tabs on than the Fiat,
Yeah.
and it'd cap it at $30 or something.
Sure.
So like $30 on top of the other fees.
Yeah.
So like then you go to like, all right, cool. The worst this is gonna be is like $75. Like that should be the absolute max for non-ridiculous car.
I agree, because a new car isn't doing more damage to the road than an old
No,
one.
and like an EV is objectively better for the environment. Like, yeah, cool, you're not paying your gas tax. You know why there's a gas tax? Because gas is bad for everyone. Like, I also love gas, but I know it's bad. I also like smoking, but here I am, like knowing that smoking's bad. Like, but there's just things that people do, and like they just don't separate their feelings towards it
Yeah.
versus objective truths. Like I understand that they're dumb things I like.
I don't get why it's age related when it comes to road tax. It just
Yeah.
makes no sense. Because
It
if you have a 1 year, like when I bought the Model S, it was 3 years old. My tab bill was $800, I think,
Ooh.
Oh my
and it gets
god,
cheaper every year until it hits 10.
That's awful.
But
Holy hell!
So
I'm
I'm
used
never
to it.
owning a new vehicle.
yeah, don't buy anything newer than 10
God,
years.
what's gonna happen to Julie? She's gonna get whacked.
Unless they brought fewer than 500 to the United States for that year, in which case you qualify for collector plates right off the bat, and then you pay a flat tax, and no more tabs.
Julie has an HRV.
Yeah, oh, she's fucked.
Yeah, no, she's screwed.
Yep.
She has a
Also,
20,
she
she has a
gets crashed
2021
into.
HRV. She's in a big problem.
She also just accepted a job at General Mills. So
That will
she's
help.
fine.
That will
Yeah,
help.
no, she's fine, but also she's gonna have the shock of her life because her Kia was previously 10 years old.
But she never had to pay for tabs for this. She did not own it long enough.
All the more reason she's gonna be shocked.
Yeah, she's gonna be very, very shocked.
Like, what is this?
But she's
What?
the type of person that goes, "Oh, that's what the government wants from me. Here you go."
Yeah, but she's also going to.
I'm also going to get a very panicked text about it. I will.
Yeah,
get.
you will absolutely have a panic text. She will pay it, but she's
Be
gonna
like,
go,
is this what you pay? And I'll be like,
no, you bought a
absolutely
new
not.
car. This is why we buy weird old trash.
And then send her the link to the Nitsa video.
Yeah, like we buy weird old trash for a
I'm
reason.
really nervous for when she finds out about that.
The Nitsa?
The crash test
The
thing?
crash
Yeah.
test.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, no, there's a reason I haven't told her yet. Like, she's gonna sell that car. Because that's catastrophic.
Maybe she'll get a car then instead of a CUV.
The B-pillar fucking detached.
Well, it pulled the entire... Okay, so for the people listening, the HRV, like every unibody vehicle in existence, has rocker panels. At the bottom of the rocker where you jack up, there's a pinch weld. That tore open and carried the entire B-pillar into the car.
That's so awful. Holy hell.
And
You
she
could
has
see the-
two dogs.
So-
Inside of the rocker panel.
Credit where it's due.
Yeah.
With Jana's Buick,
Yeah.
it's got a X-frame chassis, which is, you look at the chassis, you go, I'm going to die. And actually, Buick designed around that. Because on top of the
They
X-frame...
designed around death?
I know. They actually designed this to, like... They had the smallest modicum of making a vehicle safe in
Okay.
1961, which is, like, mind-blowing.
Sure.
Because, all right, so you have the X-frame, which is, like, the frame's usually what...
Super cool looking.
Yeah, but it's usually the frame is what keeps the car sturdy. But on the actual body itself, where it bolts to the frame, they put square, like a square piece of like basically structural like steel.
Yeah.
That's like a secondary frame that goes under the floorboard. So now you have a relatively flat floor. But if you get T-boned, the floor is not going to just
cave
crumple
right
in
in.
like
Yeah.
that. So I think it's actually fascinating that they actually made an attempt to have the car be somewhat safe
Right.
with a half of a B-pillar.
They probably did it just to like make the doors feel nicer when you close them, but it has the unintended effect of like being
There's
safer.
actually, Pontiac never went with the X-frame because they weren't able to make it safe enough. Like, there was a safety thing. It was they had weird safety shit that was happening in the 60s. It was
Okay.
very strange. Like, they took the smallest modicums of, like, making things safer.
We'll take a step.
Yeah, we're going to make a step so it looks like we're trying. But I
Thanks,
just think,
GM.
I think that's, yeah, A, very GM, but B,
The
also...
biggest
like,
safety thing on that car is the drums.
yeah, exactly. But, I mean, this is what I'm talking about.
Just don't
Like,
have the crash then.
They do that, but then they'd have, like, yeah, so, like, if you get crashed into, the car won't immediately enter your lap. It will stop. It will stop anything that hits you. at some speed,
Yeah,
possibly.
probably not 37 miles an hour for
No.
a 4,180
No.
pound sled.
No,
But,
absolutely not. But it will stop a car maybe at 5, possibly.
perfect.
Maybe.
That's all 1974 asks.
But it's very, very interesting when you see like a piece of safety equipment in a car from the 60s. You're like,
Oh, the seat belts in the 1600. It's like
the Buick seatbelts that are stuck in position.
it's like a single
They're like
strap,
airplane
and
seatbelts.
it goes from a metal like loop anchor on the left to
Yeah.
a metal loop anchor in the middle.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's
And
an
I'm like,
airplane seatbelt.
Huh.
Yeah.
And mine's mostly missing, so I'm like, well, I gotta figure that one out. Gotta add some belts because there's no way in hell I'm driving a car without a seatbelt.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's some cars where I feel like the Buick, if I put a 3-point seatbelt into it, it'd be worse for it.
I'm not gonna
because
put a 3-point in there, but I'm going to put a lap belt in it.
the Buick seatbelts are more to keep you from sliding out of the seat when you go around a corner. That's what
Yeah.
they're for.
I'll have Recaros in mine soon, so.
When I leave my parking ramp in the Lexus, I have to like unbuckle myself to like get. It's the pay station.
Oh yeah, okay, I get
is,
you.
Like,
I have to
way
do that a lot
high
of pay
up,
stations.
and I have to because I have like the card. I don't just stick my payment in. I have to make sure it hits the sensor just right.
RFID,
So
yeah.
I have to like take off my seatbelt to do it, and I always like. Sometimes there's somebody behind me and I have to go onto the street, and I'm always like, ugh, when I don't have my seatbelt on and I'm like,
Oh, I know.
in the
It
street.
feels terrible.
But like, I had a friend in high school that like we were briefly friends when Ryan and I met that refused to wear her seatbelt, and Ryan and I both were like, what the fuck?
It's like my boss. He's got one of those cheaters in his X5. Every time I drive it, I have to take it out and buckle in.
I'm like,
What year is this?
Right?
Like,
there you
what?
go, dude. I don't know. Like, it
was like, I
blew my
remember-
mind the first time I saw somebody that didn't wear a seatbelt.
Yeah, I remember
When I
being-
was in Vegas, like watching people do like rowing videos, they were still like throwing the seatbelt through their belt loops so they don't fall out of the freaking car.
Yeah, I remember briefly as a child when you don't understand that seatbelts are there to save you,
Right.
being like, I don't want to wear a seatbelt because they're annoying.
I never was.
The
Also, it was like that was the 90s.
That was the 90s.
The shoulder belt wasn't comfortable when you're young, and it's like
Yeah.
up here. So like for a while, I'm like,
Oh,
I'll
no, I
put
liked
that behind
that.
me.
I like that because I could just lay my head on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was
I
like
still don't like
it. Was a
that,
head hammock
but-
for like when I take a
See,
nap in the car.
that
It's
like
great.
bugs me, but like I see people like, especially larger chested
hammock.
women,
Oh,
they just like put it behind them, and that still bugs me. Because I'm like, yes, in some cars it does hit my neck and it feels weird, but I always just put a piece of fabric there.
Belts
and
put
then
too much
just, like-
pressure on my abdomen, but I found if I just rotate the belt where like the narrow
Yeah.
end
Put it
is
on
against
the
me,
boob and I'm good.
that's thanks, Ryan.
But
But
yeah,
like
it
I've found a
just,
way
like-
around it, and I still wear my seatbelt in
Exactly,
every car.
but I hate when people put it behind them or don't wear their seatbelt. I'm just like,
That doesn't work.
we are in now 2023.
You should encourage
you
them
should
to
know
buy an
better.
HRV.
Yes. If you don't wear a seatbelt,
You know, if you're not
buy
wearing a
an
seatbelt
HRV.
in an HRV, you're probably better off because you might get ejected from the car.
Or it
always.
might push you into the passenger seat where there is survival space.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you might just get ejected from the car, which probably
But
sounds
it's gonna
better than
scare
being.
them silly into wearing their seatbelts.
Maybe.
I guess,
People are
yeah.
pretty dumb though.
Anyway, on that bombshell,
Yep.
let's end the episode. Bye.